And welcome everyone to the Street Style Update Show here. We're going to be coming through and having a whole slew of content for you. My name is Gormizer, and joining me on the round table, I guess for the first time, is going to be Molly. It's been a while since we've been here, so now you're going to be welcome. And then Thunderbrush, Garrett, welcome back. It's been a hot minute since we've gathered like this and been able to.
Feels good to be back.
Feels good to be back. But we have a couple of things. One big message actually at the very beginning is that Omega skins, the ones that we announced during the last update, are going to be available. So Koga, Zen, Vivian, and Imani, not Inara. I almost said Inara, and I'm like, nope, that's the wrong one. They're available right now.
Right now.
Yes.
So like if you just log in and you happen to want those, they're going to be coming through. And I think we have a little preview of those again at the end of the show to be able to kind of look at the content that you have.
Very nice.
But some of the stuff that we do have immediately is the hunt, and that's something that we've been talking about for the last few patch cycles, and it's something that I think is going to make a very big change here. And the very first one, Garrett, you got to tease, it's some changes to the shooting range.
Yeah. I mean, part of the hunt, right, not only is it fixing problems or issues with bugs, right, but it's also doing kind of quality of life, small little features here and there, just for a better experience of Paladins overall. So this one's really cool to work on. Shout outs to Charles who put this together. But we have implemented like a really cool training exercise for aim training, I believe. Is the phrase the kids use these days. And it's essentially a series of moving targets that now you can trigger by stepping into this little glowy ring on the second level of the training room. There's like easier ones and then there's harder ones. But it's pretty sick. Definitely serves the purpose of a warm-up. And I'd say, like, you got to do it with Androxus. Like, yeah, you can go on, like, a Victor or like, I'll just spray with a Viv, right? But, like, the measure of skill, okay?
If you can hit it with the Andro
shots.
shots.
Bop, bop, bop. Like, let me know how that goes.
Ooh.
Oh, we got it in-game?
Yeah, I
okay,
guess that's
Kev,
going to be... So
Kev,
is that the
no
icon you
pressure.
step on?
No pressure at all, dude. Let's go. Let's go.
This is where, if you were me, you go for the Vivian, so you have those 70 clips, and you just kind of go ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
So this is the first one. He's just doing this one. You know, you pop it, and then it goes to a new location. How fast you can trigger it, and he's gonna trigger the next version. Okay. Now we're moving targets. So this is like the straight simulator.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Right? Like people going back and forth.
Not doing too bad.
In 1v1s. But don't
Oh, I
encourage
know.
him.
I'm sorry.
So,
Okay,
is
you gotta
there
step
another
it up.
level?
You gotta step it up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
okay. All right, let's kick it up a notch. Let's tune up the graphics on level 3. Let's go. Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, so we're
No
learning.
pressure,
I know.
Kev.
Oh, now he's still.
That's the uno mas. Nice. Okay. Cool. Now we're doing some. This is the soaring Eevee test,
the
right?
Eevee trainer. Oh, no.
I don't think I've ever wanted to see some of our top players like on the shooting range more than I do now. Like,
Oh,
I want to
about
see
it.
like the
They were over
escalation.
here. They were over here yesterday, actually, checking it out. I told them they could tweet about it early if they hit all the shots. I didn't see any tweets, so guess what, guys?
I guess I know how that went then.
Yeah.
But that's going to be an interesting change. I'm actually really excited to see that one just because I think a lot of players, like I know at least for the warm-ups here, you'll have those moments of like, okay, cool, we've done a couple scrims, let's get into like the mood, and it will be, I'm going to lock in Andro, I'm going to go into the shooting range, and I'm going to see how many headshots I can get on a Skye that's standing there. Now you have some moving targets.
And I want to point out too, this was kind of an AOC thing actually. So shout outs to them. They brought this up. They drove like, we'd like to see a series of improvements to the training range. This being one of them. But it's the one that we could deliver in this patch. So hopefully there'll be more to come. Where's my camera? There we go. There'll be more to come. But this is a really great first step.
Well, some of the other changes, and actually the hunt section this time, I think it's actually the meatiest we've had since the first time we did the hunt. So that's just the first thing in a long list. The second one is the Terminus first-person scaling, and it's kind of bringing that Massacre Axe, still going to hit people just as hard, but it's going to do it without taking up all of your screen.
And first off, I want to say thank you to Rafe, because Rafe has been really kind of heads up on a lot of the art and gameplay interactions as of late. And it's something that, like, kind of a higher level concept here, guys, is like we're a free to play game, right?
Yeah.
How we run our business is we sell skins. And then going to an artist and being like, hey, make this freaking cool and awesome, whether it's a 1P weapon or a 3P awesome, but do it in this tiny box. That's a really big challenge, right? So sometimes silhouettes get broken, sometimes things change or aren't exactly one-to-one with base, right? So we're always navigating this gray area, but we've given a lot of effort recently, so thank you, Rafe, in scaling things to a little bit little bit less egregious in terms of taking up screen real estate.
Yeah.
And Terminus is the first one.
Yes.
We're not going to stop there. Some of the ones that frequently come up. So this is your new Terminus, guys.
Yeah.
But like it's still Terminus. Still looks like a big old beefy boy axe that you're
Yep.
going to crush people's skulls in. And
You can just see the people whose skulls you're crushing in while
yeah,
you're
you
doing
could see it. You could see it way better.
I really have to give a special shout out to our rigging and the animation teams in particular. This has been something we've been wanting to address for quite a while, and it's part of our new, even better quality push as of late. We're really able to address these kind of long-standing issues, and getting the axe shrunk in 1P might seem like kind of a small task, but there's a lot of moving parts to this. And really, it came together fantastic. And even though it's still quite enormous, if you compare it to the sort of the OG version, this is such a drastic reduction while still feeling like really good.
And we're not stopping here, guys.
Yeah.
Like this is the first. This is our test. Like, kind of, okay, can we do this successfully? Can we shrink this down? Some of our other hit lists, I think, are like Dragonborn emoji skin.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
There might be a couple Furious swords. There may be a host of others. So if there's ones, guys, that if you're listening right now, like I think this could be better or this should be moved. Like, let us know, because we want to make it better.
Yeah.
A shooter. We're being gameplay first here. The visual kind of real estate on screen is very important for people playing our game.
Well, one of the things I think that is, there's a visual in the game, I guess, going into the next one that you can bring up, but it's not always there. So we're adding a new visual, and that is a ping indicator for these players.
Nice. Yeah, so this is really cool. This is really cool, kind of little polished quality of life feature as part of the hunt. So right now you can like toggle to see your readout, right, of your FPS and your ping. But we're gonna build something into the UI that's a very clear, just like indicator using color for like great ping, medium ping, and then high ping, right? So we have 3 stages. I think it's 0 to 100, 100 to 175, and then 175 and above. It's gonna be indicated by is it green light or no light?
No light.
No indicator.
So no indicator for good, yellow for medium, and then red for like, hey, this is an interesting thing.
Questionable.
So yeah, and this is important, guys, just because on multiple fronts. One thing is for y'all to be able to kind of translate maybe your experience and then be cognizant of the fact that, oh, when whatever thing just happened to me happened, like my ISP is screwing me here, or something's going on, right? Write them an angry letter.
There's a really bad hop.
Yeah. Yes. And also it's for us because part of the hunt, we're doing a lot of kind of like scouring over a lot of reports and videos people are sending us, and we got a lot of great bug fixes for you guys later. But part of it is like, man, like we're looking at some behaviors or some things that occur on videos, and we're like, well, if this happened at 0 ping, this is a problem. If this happened and the person who's filming or the footage that we're seeing was at like 150, 200, 300, 500 ping plus, this is expected.
Yeah.
Based on how the reality of latency and making a game on the internet works. So this is a 2-parter, a little bit for the fans, a little bit for us, but should make Paladins better overall.
Yeah, and it's always just a good thing to be able to know, because then you can, at the beginning of the game, be like, oh man, okay, I need to prepare my shots.
You can
I've
play
got some
around
red
it.
ping.
You
This
can
might
play
not be
around
that
it,
great.
right? Yep.
But yeah, so it's going to be something that I think that helps people be a little bit more cognizant of that. But one of the other things that we're bringing up, and this is something, it's a different kind of indicator, but right now it kind of floods you at the beginning. If you haven't logged in for a while, you get so many news pop-ups. And this goes back to something you were saying earlier about how, our business model is. But this is something that we're going to limit how much you get flooded with if you haven't logged in a while.
Absolutely. Like, I talked about navigating the gray area of trying to sell things to players that are actively playing your title, and how we advertise the content we do. Like, this is what we're working on. This is what we've built for you. Do you want to play with these new cool things we have for you? Yay or nay? How do we show that to you? But we felt that we were showing too much. So we've reined back a little bit. We're gonna be a little bit smarter with how we kind of show the latest and greatest content.
Yeah.
We're not gonna hit you with like 1, 2, 3, 4 things all at once. We're gonna be like, here's one thing. Thanks for looking. Like, and then continue on about your day.
Go play some games.
Go play. We don't want to be in your face like that. But again, trying to lead with our best foot forward into making the game feel more polished. We want to be the most polished AAA free-to-play shooter, arena character-based shooter available. So this is one of the steps to get there.
And I think it's going to be, I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that, because again, just it gets you faster from login to I am going to play the game. And
I can see that.
It also gets to showcase any of the new skins that you might be missing, because I know I'm excited just because of some of the stuff we get to showcase later. Yeah. But that's going to be the limited news pop-ups. We also have something that's going to help players with their account linking, and it is going to be a QR code support.
Yeah.
I think, Molly, you wanted to talk about this one.
Yeah, this is actually one that's just going to streamline the account linking process, make it a little bit easier if you're on console and don't want to try to type in your account information. A QR code will pop up, and you'll be able to just scan that with your phone and then do the linking from your phone. So it's a little easier.
It makes things super simple, and I love when they are like, especially with like all the two-factor authentication things, like logging in. Like, I had to reset my high-res password the other day because I couldn't remember what it was, because I had I had to go through my own authentication and I forgot my password. It was a mess. That's, I guess, the only way to really word it. So that will make it easier for people like me who tend to forget all of their things. But we also have some other support coming. And this is a couple of changes that are more going to help, I think, the console players. Yeah, but definitely. It kind of is overlapping for everybody. And the first one on that list is a support to select players with a specific name when you are trying to chat with them.
Yeah, so actually this wasn't a problem before crossplay and before Nintendo Switch. So Nintendo Switch names, if you are a Switch player, you already know this, they're non-unique. So if your username is Apple, then there are probably 500 other players with
I'm actually
the same...
XX Apple XX Slayer.
Yeah.
No, okay. Is that Switch, not Xbox, okay?
Oh, sorry, there's a difference. My bad.
So if you are friends with someone named Apple on Switch and you try to message them, you try to whisper them, there's going to be a million of them that pop up. Yeah. So we're doing it now where you are able to select the right Apple and make sure your message goes to the right person.
Make sure that it's not some random guy sitting there and it's like you just send this
another Apple.
I don't know what kind of messages you're sending that you'd be worried about, but
words
depending
of
on what you're
encouragement,
sending
probably.
Words
very
of
positive feedback.
Yeah. Very positive
Always
feedback
positive.
to other
Great
players about how great they
you
were.
You played great in that
how
last game,
thankful you
friend.
are that they decided to frontline and they didn't push that onto you. Anyways, but another thing,
a quality of life update for
quality
console.
of life for them, and another thing that's going to be helping them is custom game pausing. It's something that we've had in PC. You can /pause and it will pause the game. I think /unpause and it unpauses the game, or it might be /pause again. But there was no button for it, so this is going to enable a button in the menu for some of the console players, and admittedly for PC players as well.
Yeah, so now with crossplay, we want that to be as easy as possible for console players, and not every console player has a keyboard that they're able to type with. So now you can just press escape, and there will be a button right there to pause the game for you.
Yep. Super handy.
Yeah.
Nice, simple, easy.
Perfect.
And now I think we'll see, well, maybe we'll be detrimented to more pauses during the console league. I don't know. We'll have to see how that one comes through. And I guess the last one that is also a little bit more console specific, but it's input context improvement. So I'll let you break that one down, because I tried to say it earlier and I just jumbled all over my words.
So there's a general pass done on kind of how your select highlight navigates in between UI scenes. We had some issues before, like you would move to one scene and something you had selected on the previous scene was still there, and you lose your highlight state. Now it should just be generally easier to navigate our screens out of game. And that's a really TLDR way of
for things that like pop up in front of another menu. So it's like if you're on the main menu and you have something that you need to navigate, like it'll
left, right,
help you
toggle.
stay where you need to be instead of throwing your cursor into the background or anything like that. So
more
just
polished,
making it
quality
it's just
of life.
a much more intuitive way of navigating.
And nice and simple for everybody who's going to be going through. And now is the fun part. We get to go through all of the very specific fixes. This is going to be, I think, kind of central to some with champions, some with, I think, general fixes. But the first one on the list, and I think the first one that's been on the list for a long time, Terminus is coming through with another huge slew of fixes.
Daddy T is getting some love. Okay, so there's some good ones this segment, guys. I'm gonna try and go through them fast enough so that I don't take up too much time, but at the same time detailed enough so you know the information. Okay, first one being Terminus. We've made a bevy of fixes actually for our big rock boy. The first one is probably one of the more noticeable ones, is that we fixed the issue where your power siphon would get toggled on respawn and would just be on and draining while you're like on your mount right into battlefield. And you don't want to cancel it, because then you dismount and have to like go back. That's
you
horrible.
have to walk the entire way back to the fight.
That's upsetting.
The walk of shame.
Yes, there's a walk of shame, especially as Terminus, right? Because you're like, I'm gonna get you
so slow.
Unless you have Nimble 3, which you should be if you're.
No, naturally the number one card on Terminus, Nimble 3.
So yeah, fix the issue with power siphon. We fixed an issue also where you could potentially sometimes damage Terminus through power siphon, depending on like really incremental distance differences of how like deep you were in the power siphon field. This in conjunction with the change we made last patch to shrink it,
Yeah.
should have it a little bit more balanced and a little bit more technically sound. Another thing, we fixed an issue where killing Terminus when his ult was available using environmental damage would not yield kill credit. We fixed an issue where if you killed him when he was held by Con, activating Terminus ult would cause your camera to like flip out and bounce in and out really fast. We fixed an issue where dying to Con's ult damage tick, Terminus would get stuck in the stunned pose. Then you have this like unanimating Terminus just menacingly hovering towards you.
He's menacingly, well, kind of slowly, unless you have Nimble 3 coming at him.
Exactly. We addressed an issue also where Terminus could die to multiple players at once in the kill feed, which is kind of weird, and then credit gets messed up and then breaks things. So Terminus seen some really good fixes. There's some general fixes too.
Yeah.
The bouncing projectiles. So this one is made a little bit more aware to us recently because of Amani and her splitting ice talent, but there were portions of maps where like bouncing things would just go through terrain when the expected behaviors that would be blocked by line of sight. So Amani, splitting ice, Grover, deep roots, and then Grok, shock pulse. Now the bounce will respect line of sight just like in-hand weapon shots do.
I know a lot of players that are going to be happy to be able to like pull out their Grok again competitively, because that was like one of those things that once it was noticed, it was like, okay, well, on this map, no Grok.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
Yep.
And so now they finally get to wield him once again.
Rock out with your Grok out?
Sure. I'll let you be the one who says that.
I said it. Thank you. All right. Next one. We've got a really good one. So on the champion customize screen, the MVP pose selection now saves properly. I think this is a fix that will probably fix the like horrible disfigured like amalgamations of like that's someone's skeleton on the wrong mesh.
I love
Oddly
those Reddit
comical.
posts.
Yeah, I know, they're so great. Like the cursed. It's like this is the cursed EV or like
new skin announced. Check it out, guys.
Another great one on the settings menu. Changing a keybind will no longer reset the scroll bar. This is something that drives me crazy because you'd be like, I want this one here. Thunk. And you're like, oh, scroll all the way down and find it. I want this one here. Thunk. Not fun. Really. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm paraphrasing here. There's a host of fixes that we have for you. I'm cherry picking the ones that probably have the most impact, but definitely go check out the remainders because there's a lot. Okay, we also fixed an issue where champions rewound by Atlas would stop contesting the point in payload. So that game mechanic is now going to work as intended. And on top of it, we, in conjunction with this actually, shout outs to Andy who put some time into this, we reworked some logic for point capture. So now it should be a lot more sound in terms of like, oh, I am contesting, I'm not contesting. No weird overtime bugs where it like is triggered but not triggered, but no one's on it, but it's like looping. So we did a quality pass on that. It should be a lot more resounding of an experience. Also, some map fixes on both, and I saw there's some interesting videos on this on both Frog Isle and Jaguar Falls, but there were ledges that sometimes would be really slippery, really slidey. Basically, what the problem was a client's, or like on the server thought you were like ever so slightly lower, and then the collision of the rocks that like came up to the lip of the barrier or whatever was really flush with it. So the server's like, oh, you're actually on the sliding material. You're going to slide everywhere. When you're like, I'm very clearly standing on a ground that is flat and not sliding. But the server's like, nope, you're sliding. You're ice skating. So we changed both the collision, so that should no longer be an issue. Some champion fixes now. And again, there's a lot of these guys that I'm cherry picking. Androxus Nether Step. So we fixed issues where the dash volume was quieter on a multitude of the cosmetics for Huntsman, Fallen, Battlesuit, Godslayer skins. That should be in a much better state. We fixed a reversal problem where destroying a shield with reversal did not activate Power of the Abyss. We fixed an issue where killing an enemy with reversal did not activate the Kill to Heal item. What else we got? We got some more. So that's oh, this one's starred. Okay, so we fixed an issue where champions being rewound by Atlas would. Okay, I already said that. We fixed an issue where. Sorry, Bomb King guys with the cosmic skins. We fixed the issue where it was like nuclear Bomb King, and he was like, "I am your leader" or whatever the hell. You're no longer gonna be vibrating and vibrant as the sun, unfortunately. This is kind of a big change. there's a problem before that sticky bombs wouldn't detach on a target that went like ethereal or immune, right? Like you could stick an Eevee and then she would ice block and the bombs would still be like stuck to her. Now the bombs will probably like be shed if she enters that ice block. So that's a change, kind of a gameplay impacting one. Another good one. Okay, we fixed an issue. Okay, so this is arguably a balance kind of change too, but it's really a bug fix, an error in our ways that is now corrected. So we fixed an issue where Amani's Pyre Ball was incorrectly charging over 1 second instead of 1.2. We had previously been like, okay, it's going to be a 1.2 charge, but it was actually a 1 second. So now this is more in line, which is again kind of the opportunity cost of her in hand versus Shaolin. Now it's a little bit like Shaolin's is a little bit more better now with this fix. What's a good one? Oh, we fixed an issue with Lex where assists were also or players that would assist Lex in killing his bounty target would also get the credits for assisting. So that should no longer, you could like exploit it and farm everyone's credits up. Maeve, we fixed a rare issue where you would lose some bonus damage on Cat Burglar coming out of Prowl, which is really frustrating just because like that damage is really important. Sometimes you really need it in that moment. And we also, another Terminus issue. Sorry, I missed this one, guys. We fixed the issue where he would show without his silhouette and without his health bar. It's really frustrating to know, like, is he there? What's his health? I don't know. Now you can see it at all times.
All those Terminus fixes rock.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Well, I'll say, I think it's funny because I think the notes we had originally were like, here's some Terminus fixes, here's like another Terminus fix, but it was like related to console. Just so you are aware of how many bug fixes there are, that was still just nitpicking some of them. There are still more that Garrett didn't fully flesh out. So afterwards, when the patch notes are posted, you will want to go and read through those. You will want to go watch and make sure you are up to date, I guess, on all of the fixes. But you said some of those were maybe, quote, balance changes. Now we actually have the actual balance changes. Segue as we come through. And the first one on the list this time around is going to be Ashe. And I know Pretty Hair's over there, and he's been saying a lot of things about Ashe's ult, but this is going to be affecting her
What
health
is
bar.
Pretty Hair? No, dude, Nick, that guy's crazy, man. Yes, so she is seeing a change right now. Holistically looking at Ashe and when compared to other front lines, there was kind of an egregious outlier. So Ashe is a character, right, that has huge magnitude displacement movement, lots of disruptive CC, recently got some amplification on her ult too, has a very confirmable weapon. Also, she has the highest base HP of all the front lines ever, on top of all those other attributes. So what we're doing is we're going to take her from 49 to 4,500 base HP, which puts her more in line of like, okay, I am not the most tankiest tank because I have all these other things. Like Inara, right, is the literal rock who is like her fantasy, right, is like, I'm going to be on this point, put my little stone down, put walls up. You can't touch me. Get out of my space. Like, get off my lawn, kids. And she had less HP than Ashe does, right? And Ashe is the one who's like diving and fragging and knocking people off and then like being unkillable while then you go into a big it's pretty crazy. She's also doing really well right now in all of the competitive scenes actually. So this is going to bring her a little more in line.
And that's going to be one of those things, again, she kind of skyrocketed once the stun was added to her ult from someone who we hardly got to see, I want to say, as often competitively to someone who is like up there pretty much. If you don't get Inara, then you want to grab Ashe, and it's probably something related to her health bar being as big as it is, so making her a little easy to kill, maybe a little safer for those victors in the back line who have an Ashe charging at them.
And also, like, you can just invest more points in the heavy metal if you're really feeling that HP loss. Like, welcome to Paladins. There's a loadout card for that.
But speaking of loadout cards, well, this one's ability and loadout card, but Drogoz is going to be the one, and I actually think when I mentioned that earlier, the ability is the one that people are going to feel. It's more tangible with this change.
I would say so. Absolutely. Also shout outs to AOC for this AOC guided change. Also Huga, he's bouncing a lot of kind of Drogoz stuff off me, so thank you for that effort, my man. So this change is will mostly be felt in tandem with using the Propel card, specifically Propel 5. So what we've done is a little bit of a harken back to some of the Drogoz mobility of old, while being a little bit more fair with it. So the change itself is that players will be able to carry more momentum from their thrust into their booster shortly after using thrust to get that quotation marks skiing feel. Obviously, the more forward momentum you have, aka higher ranks of propel, the more displacement you will see as a benefit of this. But the differences are pretty notable in terms of like the distance you could cover before versus the distance you'll cover now. So hopefully it's gonna see him more mobile, maybe a little bit more survivable as a byproduct of mobility. Just because the recent changes did see a decrease in his performance, he's still competitively viable. But this is mostly a feels thing and largely a community ask targeted thing.
Get the jetpack back to feeling, I guess, jetpackier. But in that result, you have to maybe invest more.
We'll add that to the notes.
That's a word I'm
Give it a
going to right
boost.
now. But
other change, right?
also making it a little bit easier, but you have to invest all those points in Propel 5.
Yes. And the other change too is the Decimate card for his loadout for the Salvo one. We hit his Salvo base radius pretty hard. So we felt that the cost you got, or the opportunity cost from investing into Decimate wasn't great enough. And now you can see a larger radius increase should you spend those points. Okay. Grok.
Next on the list. And this one was one very specific to kind of change that a card was making that wasn't accurately changing.
Yeah,
everywhere.
this is arguably even kind of a polished quality of life thing. So Outreach, the card, it's a thing that modifies the radius of the healing totem. And not only was it scaling the radius weird, the VFX weren't lining up, but also the magnitude at which it was increasing it was numerically wrong in the description. So we've just unified all of that and now scales properly is the correct magnitude dictated on the card. So it should just be very clear of what's happening.
Making sure that everything that I guess is going, I'll take yours, rock out with your Grok out.
Yeah.
There we go. I got it right the second time.
Or you can make a surging with power joke also.
Surging with power, lightning. I have once he added flight, I made a picture of Bright Marsh that was ridiculous with lightning all around him. But it's going to be fun to see him. Of course, Grok's been, again, I think on the rise lately. And coming up right behind him, someone who's been essentially went from 0 to the
Hero?
top.
Zero.
It is Grover.
Evan. There's no
And
Evan. Okay.
the best thing about this is it's kind of a small change to bring him more in line.
It is small. Grover's getting his time in the sun. Yes, tree pun. And the crippled duration on crippling throw is going from 2 seconds to 1 second. We kind of were making this conversation earlier. It's like, you tell anyone the difference between like 2 seconds to 1 second who's not familiar with the Paladins gameplay or meta would be like, I mean, 1,000, 2, 1,000. Like, that's your difference right there. That's a world of difference in Paladins. Like, so much can like you can body someone real hard in that 2 seconds. And the efficacy he was seeing from this thing that could get a real low cooldown. He's just hucking these things and it's bouncing left and right. And he's kind of on top right now. So it's like this is a utility reduction. So that it's still going to serve the purpose that it did, but it's not going to be as effective as it.
Yeah, and it's going to make it maybe a little bit more difficult for him to like solo an Eevee who's trying to kill him down. Like you can't just root her and then hit her with a couple of axes. It's going to make him, I think, more in line with where support.
Unless it's randoms Eevee.
Randoms
Eevee, you're still dead, dude. You're still dead. Yep.
And speaking of flanks, Koga, who got a pretty big hit from the last update to, I guess, the current update that is out. We're hitting him a little bit again, but this one's more to, I think what you said was to bring him in line with kind of
this was
other
and
flanks
I want to. This is largely, and the Maeve changes later. Hint, hint, are a byproduct of a really well thought out comparison that community wrote up. Just is very polite, very critical kind of presentation of all these issues that the dev team kind of reviewed and enacted these changes because of it. So Koga's agility has a nigh infinite uptime potentially, depending on how you build him, and you can do all the things during it, and is also a magnitude at 50% speed.
Yeah.
Which compared to other flanks is like that's a huge outlier. Like why? So we're toning down the frequency of it. That's kind of a cool thing. The fact that you can do other things while in agility is kind of a unique thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was like a better stim, right, than the other ones that had to pay that cooldown cost, right, was a bit of the egregious thing. So it's going from 50% to 30%.
And that's just to bring him in line. And again, you mentioned, and this is not the next one, but a little bit later, like Maeve, a couple of other flanks kind of being brought into.
And like we've hit Koga twice now, right? This is we're probably not going to touch him. Like he's in a good spot. He's really a pleasure to watch. He's like in the kind of the pro scene, see all the strategies that revolve around
the
him.
Torvald Genos Koga combo.
Yes. It's like, if Koga dies, our strategy, we run.
We run. You just got to give it up.
Yep.
The next one that has been very, very big, though, and this is one that is big competitively as well, is Leon.
Sure.
And she's been coming around. And this is really to make it so that it's not, hey, let's just go Imminence. It's also to bring some other talents.
Yep, Leon is doing really good right now. A lot of people are playing her. In Gen Pop, she's statistically balanced, but there's a problem in that the talent rework we did for her on Precision sucked. So, our bad. That's what the dev notes are on this, is our bad. But Precision just basically gave very little benefit at all compared to the other things. So we've increased these numbers, and I want to kind of like test drive this on the PTS. So give us some feedback, guys. Go play Leon in the PTS, specifically with the Precision talent. Try to build some loadouts that revolve around it. We've got some early feedback from pro players, too, on this one. Hikate was testing her just yesterday, too, giving his thoughts. And we got a couple ideas on it. So let me know what you think. Give it a test run.
I can only imagine with aim like Hikate, like consecutive shots being hit makes it very easy to get your maximum amount of precision damage. So that's going to be interesting.
It's a treat to watch that man play our game.
No, it's going to be fun. And now, because Leon comes alphabetically before Maeve, we get to circle back the Koga reference to where Maeve is. And this is a card change and then the prowl change, which I think is more related to what we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. So Maeve's Savagery card is going from an on-hit heal to an on-trigger heal. Really simple, and now it just makes it far more reliable of a health thing. And it's like often you're using Pounce not as that finisher, right? You're using it as an escape. This change really facilitates that and gives it a lot of flexibility in terms of your loadout too, because this heal and combined with the DR afterwards, and then combined with the duration on Prowl increase going from 4 seconds to 5, which is the next change, and then she also has those healing cards during Prowl, the DR during Prowl, right? Trying to flex a little bit more of survivable muscle on the Maeve build.
It's not as survivable as she was like about a year ago, but more survivable than she is now, being able to kind of ride that fine line of balance, I guess, which is always going to be what you're trying to. Totally. The next one, this is one last night I was reading these and I audibly gasped at this because again, implications. It's like there's a change up here and it's like whatever, but the repercussions it brings to the realm, I think,
love
is
that
what
word.
it will
Repercussions
change.
Is so cool. Okay, so Pip, and this change actually kind of goes beyond
man
Pip.
himself.
Yep. This ability, so Evil Mojo. We're actually nerfing ourselves. Great. This ability no longer affects CC immune targets. So we in Paladins had some depth in our game that was kind of odd, in that we had CC immunity, superior CC immunity. Like, what?
There's a tier list of CCs.
Yeah, we're simplifying that. There's no longer like the top higher tier, right? Of like, okay, well, you're CC immune, but not superior CC immune. So this ability that is a superior CC can actually affect you when you're CC immune. No, what we're doing is there is only CCs and there's only CC immunity. So this will have some balance implications.
Yeah.
The Grok CC immunity totem, right?
Ward.
Totemic Ward.
Mother's Grace Inara.
Mother's Grace Inara. Like these are going to see some power spikes because now they're like they can't be polymorphed through it. And polymorph is really the only superior CC. However, things still may shift around. But in terms of understanding how to play Paladins and the mechanics of how it works, this is a leap forward in clarity.
I'm interested to see if Pip players now are going to have to, like, specifically, like, against an Inara or a Grok, if they're going to have to, like, okay, well, he has this cooldown, so now I know the totem's down, I can get the Evil Mojo.
Like, play around the cooldown?
You have to, like,
instead of just, like, blasting the chickens out and being like, well, too bad, so sad.
You're a chicken. Have fun.
Yep.
Now you're dead. You have 1,500 health. Not a lot. And speaking of not a lot of health, but someone who was able to kill people with tons of health, Skye, and I believe this was an Assembly of Champions change that was
yeah, we were seeing a lot of feedback on the lethality of Debilitate Skye.
Yeah.
And our stance on it is that percent HP damage is a necessary check and balance in our game when we have front lines as powerful as they are.
Yeah.
However, the gross magnitude of the 30% damage increase in combination with the duration decrease of the dot was a little too much. So we're taking it from a 30% damage increase to a 25% damage increase. So 5%, which at higher HP levels means more. So you're going to have a little bit more breathing room as a front line now.
Yeah, and it's just going to make it a little easier. Ancient Rage Makoa is maybe not going to die the instant Skye looks at you. It's just going to be a couple seconds later if you are rushing her down. But that, I think, is going to be a change that's fun. And then the final flank on the list is Xin. And he actually has a few changes coming through. I actually didn't read through all of these, but it's a couple, a little bit to Billow, a little bit to Smolder, and a little bit to his hideout card.
Yeah, Zin's a bit of an odd case. He's a character that statistically overperforms a lot, but doesn't have that, like, large community voice of, like, bring this man down, right? Like, but we see these stats, and it's like, okay, this has to be dealt with. So, really, his egregious thing is his survivability, right? Largely due to the efficacy of Billow. Our flanks are usually defined by being slightly more mobile than our damage characters, having a little bit more burst, and having discrete moments of intense survivability, whether it's Androxus Reversal, Eevee Ice Block, Moji Magic Barrier, right? Xin Billow. Xin has Billow plus counter too, right? So he double dips. Yeah. He double dips. But Billow was unlike any of those other cooldowns. Billow had a variable duration, depending on your loadout cards, and could be extended exceptionally long, a very long time, right? Whereas all the other flanks, it's like Magic Barrier lasts a static amount. Ice Block lasts up to a static amount, can be canceled early, and Reversal is a static duration, right? So the player knows, in terms of countering this guy when fighting it, how survivable that dude is for that duration. They can learn it. It's gameable. It's counterplayable. Yeah. Whereas Billow, how many times have you just been like chasing this Xin in Billow as he's healing to full? Like, I think this is a good. Oh, it's still lasting, and you're like, oh no. So what we're doing is we're going to standardize the duration of Billow. And change a couple other things because he had other things that affected Billow. So let's get into it. So duration is going from 2.5 second space to 1.5 second space, more in line with the other similar cooldowns. And movement speed bonus is going from 20% to 30%. So not as long, but you're moving a little bit faster. And you can modify that speed through cards as well. The internal lockout time after the ability ends, kind of that like recovery period, is being greatly reduced. So you should be active and lethal coming out of Billow far quicker, right? Okay. So we're giving and taking. And then so the talent Smolder has actually had its healing increase to compensate for the fact that Billow's duration is now reduced. It's still the same values. It's just it had to be changed, so we have to document it. And then cards, hideout. You're no longer going to be able to change the duration of Billow again. We want that to be a unified time, right? So it's a learned thing. But what hideout's going to do now is that upon activation of Billow, it's going to reduce the cooldown of Whirl by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, depending on scales. So, after a certain amount of point investment in that card, like, I'm going to have a Whirl available coming out of this sucker. So I can position myself for maybe some cool, like, shenanigans of like, I'm going over here, but then, I'm whirling over here. And then maybe I had the Whirl cooldown reset card, and I passed through and I set up I was super infallible in my immune state, and I positioned myself, so I'm going to hit all those people in a line and then reset my Whirl, right? So some interesting things there.
And it's going to be fun because, again, with the movement speed increase on Billow as well, like, if you need to get out, you still have that capability to get out if you're going to run hideout at a high level. Or maybe you're trying to mix and match and you have some other thing, but that is balance. That's everything balance, that's coming through. Then finally going to be something where you don't have to go and now. No, wait. Now.
He's still billowing? What?
One of the greatest moments of Xin in a Billow has to come down to Country Zen. Just being able to hear Evan sing a country song was really, really fun. But unfortunately, he's been put to rest.
Evan singing is amazing.
Is amazing. It's fun to get it. But now we get to move into a new event. And the name of this update, the street style skins that we have coming for this. So this is going to be an event, and I believe it's a buy 3, get 1 kind of event that we've had in the past. And the biggest notes I see is we have original voice actors. I think everyone has a roaming emote. So there's a lot of really awesome things.
Ton of awesome stuff, really.
And so not only that, but it says event extras. Molly, do you like what all is included in event extras?
So it's actually pretty familiar, the structure of these events that we do, where you can complete challenges and recruit. It's actually stars. You earn fans. I think is the thing for this one. You earn fans, and you can
goal for everybody
because our players are stars.
Yeah. Perfect.
Well, we wanted to kind of treat this event as a fun what-if scenario. Paladins has been a little bit in serious land for a while, so with this event, we really just wanted to kind of have fun with it and ask a kind of what-if scenario. So.
And I believe the what-if was kind of like runway model-esque.
Basically, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything yet.
Yeah.
Exciting things coming, so it's kind of hard to talk about.
It's
but
kind of...
the fantasy we want to kind of imply here is something a little closer to kind of our modern world as it is today, and taking on the kind of persona of a famous model,
which I believe
fashion oriented.
Anna has also been like, I think she drew Ying. I think I've seen a Bomb King. Like she's been drawing a lot of the champions, in like an updated kind of like what would they look like if they were alive now. Bomb King looked like what F. Dot would wear, so it was something I was like, I mean, that makes sense since he did the voice. So I was like, this is
Tom is just
pretty much
exactly
just what it would be.
Like,
that
straight up
links up perfectly. But the first one that is getting their street style skin is going to be Skye coming through.
Our girl
and
Skye.
This is one that I think is interesting because I feel like, I mean, I remember the last Skye was, I mean, probably November, October, sometime like late fall last year.
Was it Kunoichi?
Yeah.
No, it was her update.
I want to say Schoolgirl, but I know that's not what it's called.
Yep.
Technically, I guess her last was her kind of base revamp.
Oh, right.
Technically, yes.
Technically, but her last skin in an event was soap.
Yeah,
actually,
Ascension Peak.
It's been a while.
Well, this one has a lot of huge positives, and I know we have like the turnarounds. I'm not sure if we're quite ready on that one yet, but we have it. Actually, we do have the turnaround ready, and we do have some voice lines for it. So let's go ahead and jump to the turnaround and see what this skin looks like.
Dress better than them. If the shoe fits, buy a pair in every color. I am the definition of fierce. Make room. The real star is here. Honey, I got heels higher than your standards. I don't need your approval, darling. That's for insecure people. People are jealous of me, but I can't help that I'm beautiful.
Dude, those sneaks.
So that's actually exactly what I was like. I was like, the first note I have, it says like that she has long hair. I'm gonna skip over that. When can we buy these Paladins brand sneakers?
Dude, okay, I would actually be so down to rock a pair of Paladins kicks, realm kicks.
Those I think would be like uniform around the office. Everyone would have it. This weapon looks
Look at the
phenomenal
weapon.
as well.
The dog theme throughout.
And she has it on her belt as well. So this skin, again, was, I guess you said, like a modern uptake on what I guess Skye would look like nowadays.
Yeah.
Did she decide to grow her hair out specifically for this skin?
Yeah, so this is the first Skye skin, obviously, with long hair. That alone is a pretty drastic change for her. It's kind of been a thing I've seen in the community a few times, and we had an opportunity, we wanted to take it here, with this skin especially. It's really a fantastic skin design. This is actually handled by our concept artist, Mina. She really knocked it out of the park here, and modeling was handled from our 3D artist, Matt.
Tell me about the pup. Tell me about the pupper, dude. It's not even a pup. It's got shades.
Not spoiling things, but let's say it's a somewhat common theme we're going to see today. But yeah, we just, again, a fun kind of hook.
I think
who doesn't love dogs?
Is really impressive with this is that I've never, like, I've looked at Skye's weapon and thought it was cool. I've never wanted to wear it as an accessory, and this is like, again, it's another thing that I'm like, I wouldn't, like, if I just had like wearing on broadcast, I roll my sleeves up, and I just have this, I guess, gauntlet coming down, have the crossbow, maybe fold those in.
Yo, was there some wubs in that stealth? Hit that stealth again, Kev.
Yep.
Oh, he needs that cooldown.
Give me that cooldown, Kev.
Ooh, just a little
That's
chill.
what I'm talking about. That's
chill.
what I'm talking about. Some lo-fi chill beats.
I also think, and this is something I feel like, I don't know how many sounds we have, but getting a shoe sound for somebody running around, like that was, her running around was very audibly like, that is a sneaker, like that is a shoe.
Yeah, I mean, it's very distinct versus something like battle armor, right?
Yeah.
And again, audio coming through for us, really making a cool skin even better.
The reload.
Kevin, do it. Look
do
at
it again.
it.
Reload.
Oh no, I wasn't even.
Oh, it barks.
I was more.
Wait, it barks?
It barks. Oh my god.
Such a great touch.
Did anybody see what looked like a dabbing chicken? Is there a dabbing chicken?
I don't know. I didn't.
I feel like there's a dabbing chicken.
I don't know.
Oh, it's okay. Maybe my eyes are clearly deceiving me.
Oh, that's our new death stamp.
So that's one of the event extras that we talked about earlier.
The lights and everything. I
Oh, he's
I think I know.
fabulous.
Can I get an Evil Mojo skin that also makes me a dabbing chicken?
Potentially. We'll see what we can do. We'll put something
Only if
into
you
it.
get out. Like if you get max duration, you get that.
Ooh,
That
look
is
at
a
that bomb.
Oh, the effects on that are
Yes.
amazing.
Look
at the bomb.
Ron and the VFX team really did an awesome job. Wanted to play this kind of abstract notion of like stage lights and like kind of lighting
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
Oh, it's happening.
And I think I don't know if I saw confetti. Yeah. Coming down at the very end as well as stars. So I mean, was this like very much like I guess kind of like, hey, you're a rock star.
Yeah, basically.
Hell yeah.
No guitar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that dog is a sheriff, even though he's wearing the shades. He's got the little star.
Oh, he's so
Barks
He's
when
a
you
sheriff of
reload.
Cool Town.
And we have, I think, a roaming emote, and that's
Yes.
something that I think is universal for everyone here. But
Yes.
this is gonna be one that comes out for this Skye.
What's a little distinct here in these roaming emotes is they strike a nice fashion
the
pose,
pose.
if you will,
Oh, and the
and then they also have the strut.
Look at that walk, dude.
Yeah. Skye's,
She's fancy.
she's
Walking the
sassy.
payload in with
There's gonna be so many, like, you team wipe, you get a really, really nice time bomb, everyone's dead, and then you pop the emote and you just walk it in with the fancy wall.
Yeah.
Everyone
That style.
Nailed
is
it.
Oh,
going
that
to
looks
love
great.
your play of the
All
games.
right. All right.
Okay.
Well
So many
done.
good things.
I saw some sprays too that you had equipped. Maybe some more of the dabbing chickens.
I guess
That's
we'll
sick.
have to
We
see the
can't see
sprays
that
as
one.
we go forward.
Yeah.
All right.
Because that was the Skye skin that everything is coming through, but we also have more
Yep.
in the street style. And again, it's fun to see, like, I guess where these would start, because I have something in my mind, like, this is what this will look like. I know it's going to be completely blown out of the water with what I see. And the next one is going to be Maeve. So for Maeve, you know, I guess street rat, street cat, I guess is the better way to describe
Yeah.
her. Like, she's kind of, I guess she was
Street
like
cat.
that rogue coming through. She
Yeah.
has the nice long cape. What were the changes, I guess, to bring Maeve into this?
I mean, Maeve has a lot of really great skins already, so it's always a challenge to kind of keep upping the bar with her. Again, we really wanted to target a more updated look, something that reflected the character, more fun and playful. We really went pretty ham on the hair. You'll see it shortly on the skin,
Yeah.
so don't want to spoil it yet. And really just kind of drove the theme home really consistently.
Well, I have to say I laughed because the first thing I read, I didn't even read any of the actual notes I should read. I read the social post for this, which is now we know why they call it a catwalk. And I think we have the turnaround for this one ready, so we can go ahead and jump and look at Street Style Maeve.
Yikes. I hope you kept the receipts. Your outfit attracts attention and flies. Chic, vintage or street? Swimsuit, runway or print? I slay it all. I've been perfecting this look for months now. It's called a catwalk because of moi. Want to hear a joke? Skye's hairstyle. Want to hear a joke? Ash's makeup.
So much shade.
She's a little sassy.
All the
And
shade.
again, the sneakers that are coming through.
Sneakers,
I'm
yeah.
seeing
Gotta look
there's
good.
a very specific shoe line that we could be putting out.
Gotta look good.
The weapons look amazing. But I also really like, so again, different hairstyle.
Different
and a
hairstyle.
hoodie coming out
Yeah.
for it.
Dude, it's a trip to see the
Yeah.
modern clothing
Yeah.
on our
Yeah.
characters. This is so cool.
It's a re-envisioning, but at the same time, kind of not.
It's dope.
Just Maeve
It's
looking
dope.
awesome.
And the pupper theme.
Yeah. Well, Maeve is
Oh,
a
is
little
it?
She's got
unique.
cat?
She's actually got a cat.
Well, of course.
Well, it's got to be a cat.
Of course.
So is every other skin, everyone's going hard on the like a pupper theme,
Yep.
and then they're like, well, we can't really do that.
That would be
with Maeve.
sacrilege.
Like that would, yeah.
Yeah.
Like she would actually jump out of the game.
I,
and assault
I'd
us.
humored it for a moment, but we knew we had to go with a cat.
I love the effects on the prow
Oh,
of the
yeah.
chase, and like again, being able to kind of bring, I want to say more like, I don't know how to describe it other than like electro style, like the lights, the cameras, the popping action.
It's an abstract sort of like visual
Yeah.
representation of like stage lighting, right? Like the experience of being at a stage or like at a party concert. Really, we just kind of want to reinforce fun with something really different for this event in general.
And they all seem to have a little plushie. By
A little
their side.
plushie by their side. It's
My
definitely kind
wife
of a
can agree
signature.
with this at a full notes all around. It's
Yeah.
keeping a plushie with you at all times to make you feel a little bit more
Yeah.
comfortable, especially if I guess you're in battle all the
Yeah,
time.
the side plushie was probably one of the first things nailed, I think, out of all the skin concepts. Really, we saw that on the Skye originally from Mina, knew that we have to carry that across all the skins we were going to make.
Listen to the dude. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
I,
That's
I
great.
actually would love to just be in a world where I can have endless midnights. I guess it'd be very bad for anyone you're playing against, but just use it.
The effects are
Yeah.
still incredible.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
The hues and the pink and
Oh,
that
yeah.
blue, I love it. What's that Q look like, Kev? I know it's a fast little Snappy animation. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Again, lights coming around.
Lights coming around, light show.
Yep, nice.
Her daggers look
style.
so
Yeah.
good.
And again,
fun.
and then
Hit
strike
that
goes
pose.
and do the wall.
Just jamming on the headset.
Dude, very cool.
I think all of the roaming emotes, just based on what I've seen so far, I am going to be a big fan of it.
Wait, Bev, can you walk forward,
I'm
stop,
going to
walk forward, stop in that? Ooh, that music was cool too. Ooh.
So was there, I guess, like for a couple of these abilities now, we've heard like little snippets of songs. Is that like,
Yeah.
I guess something that was a universal theme? Like just, hey, let's put whatever music, like this would be
Yeah.
good for her, this would be good for her.
Each character kind of reflects their own style, but we wanted the kind of world that they would inhabit to feel kind of consistent. So this sort of pop electronic music kind of backdrop.
Oh, that's perfect.
That is the best, I think, emote
Yeah,
ability
yeah.
combination
Yeah.
I've ever seen. You get the music, you get the dance going around.
So cool.
And it's going to be amazing, and this is going to be a great skin. And again, I
Nice
guess
job,
I
man.
said this earlier, but the
That's
long
really
hair
cool.
coming through.
Yep.
Is that something
really
like
cool.
we just decided everyone's going to grow their hair out for
With-
this patch?
Yeah, with skins, we always really want to kind of push the envelope of making something really new and exciting. And, you know, sometimes we'll stray a little far from a character's kind of base silhouette as long as we feel that the design's ultimately cool and
Yeah.
encapsulates something really fun. And with Maeve, I think we nailed it.
Well, again, based on some of the notes that I've been reading, I think not only that one's going to be amazing, but the one that is right here, Street Style Ash, is
Yes.
going to look incredible. Just
Yeah.
because the very first note on here kind of intrigues me, so I'm interested to see what that's going to look like in game. But we have the turnaround first, so we're going to jump in and see Street Style Ash.
Sure, you can make it in the biz. Someone needs to get the coffee. You're a walking disaster. Grok called. He wants those rags back. They need to buff your wardrobe. I'm bringing leather back. To me, fashion is more than a look. It's attitude and lots of punching. The fashion industry never changes. It's too clothed-minded. I didn't sign up to stand around all day. At least not without a camera.
There's so many things there that are catching my eye, and I don't know which one to focus on. If it's the flag or if it's the cannon, I'm not sure which
You've
one I
never
want to look
seen a
at.
dabbing chicken flag?
I've seen it. Never seen a dabbing chicken flag. In fact, until
Lord.
today, I don't think I've
Gosh.
ever seen a dabbing chicken. So it's
Gotta get
full
out more,
firsts
man.
for me.
They got you casting too many games.
So, fun fact, the dog plushie here is actually designed after my dog.
Oh, that's perfect.
Does
Shot out of a cannon?
does he shot out of a cannon?
She can be a frustrating
Do it
girl.
Do it again.
Oh, and then the splash
A
paint on the
little
wall.
wobble. Oh,
Look at those soulless eyes just looking at you.
throw him against a wall. That doesn't seem right.
Well, to make it safe,
just a toy.
it looks like it's more, kind of like a paintball.
Yeah, it's just a
It's
toy.
giant
It's not an
paintball that
actual
you-
dog.
that
Okay.
she's launching
Yeah.
against the wall. It just happens to do a lot of damage.
If she had a toy of herself, she would tear it up, trust me. Yeah. Again, this skin was just really fun to work on across the board. The dabbing chicken was certainly a funny
on the
addition.
cannon.
cannon.
He's
Yeah.
looking at me.
On the sides as well as on the top.
It's even on her shirt. She's the war machine, so.
One more time, Kev. There we go. Nice. Good job.
Hey. I don't think there's ever been a time where I felt it was almost more stylish to die than to make a hot play in the game, but I think
Yeah.
you've been able to manage that and nail
Yep.
it. Is the plush on her hip the same as the plush that you see like in the cannon?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
same model. So I guess that's her extra shot. If you have any extra ammo, any reload, that's where she gets it.
Reaches down, throws it in.
I really like how the theme of the character is still in the fashion universe, but at the same time, like it's Ash, right?
Yeah,
Because
the
she's
leather
a little
jacket.
bit more rougher and tougher.
tough.
Yeah, it's got
Tough
that
girl.
leather jacket. That's dope, man.
I love the detailing on the inside of the cannon there.
Yeah.
So cool.
Again,
like,
that came in from our
disco lights.
VFX
Yeah, like
team.
the disco lights.
Yeah, and it feels awesome. It's like a little mini dance floor in there.
Oh, look at it.
It's just really to make the dog plush paintball cannon feel better as
Feel
it
better.
gets launched to its inevitable demise. And that is a really nice looking shield. And again, I think that's another thing where it's just taking the aesthetic that you
Yeah.
have and being able to apply it to something like you wouldn't think we're going to make this shield look really cool and rock starry, but you managed to do it.
With this theme, we did struggle with weapons for a minute right in the beginning because we didn't want to, for instance, it's more equivalent to the real world. We didn't want to give Ash a real world gun, so we really had to explore some options to make kind of abstract the weapons down to more of an accessory item or something that feels more akin to like a tool or in Ash's case even like an old school boombox.
That's a nice way of thinking about it.
Yeah. That's perfect. Too.
Yeah.
I think like that's one of the things that all of these skins so far have managed to nail a new aesthetic and the character a champion perfectly.
Yeah.
And so this is actually, I was interested to see what her pose is. I love the wall.
Oh, it's a
great.
swagger, dude. That's a
Swag for
swagger.
When you have a belt like that, how can you not walk
Hit
around?
'em.
This is
Pose
the
and vogue.
I'm just gonna do so many emotes. I'm going to die doing these emotes so many games. I feel sorry for anyone who happens to queue with me.
Dude, seeing them walk around like that, like we just need to make like a
And
MMO with these characters. You're just like chilling around the social hub, walking around there.
this is
Yeah,
the
no big
first
deal.
Ashe skin without armor, right?
Yeah, that's actually a
well,
great point.
some would say that a leather jacket's a form of armor.
Yeah.
It's Kevlar reinforced in case she rides motorcycles.
Oh, I love that cannon.
It looks
That's sick.
It's
Yeah.
so
good.
awesome.
She
And
came
that's-
out
just like-
fantastic.
I would never have been able to look at, and this is one of the things I always
Yeah.
love the art teams because I could never have said, "Hey, let's look at Ash's like flat cannon and make it a pop stars tool." Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea how to start going about that.
Yeah, we again, she just came out fantastic. Some special shout outs to Miles, who handled our 3D character art, Sarah and rigging, who really solved some issues we had. Obviously, taking our girl Ashe out of some armor was a little bit of a challenge. Make sure we could sell it. And again, I'd mentioned it earlier, but the weapons were a bit of a struggle for the team at the moment because we were trying to come up with something fun, and Evan really helped knock it out of the park. And then VFX just came in with that last minute polish and just brought it all home.
Well, those are the three I think that are immediately direct for purchase, and this is going to lead up into, again, buy 3, get 1. There is one final skin, and it is a street style Ying. We actually have the turnaround ready for this one, so I'm excited to jump into it and see what she looks like.
Looks like we're sold out. I'm always classy and fabulous. How's my new jacket look? You're very last season. That's an interesting outfit. Break a leg. Actually, break 2 legs. The show must go on. Are you having stage fright? Whoever invented denim was a genius. If the shoe fits, buy it in every color.
So I'm gonna harp on this again. I think we could genuinely start a Paladins clothing line off of just these four.
Well, that hat is actually the Paladin's hat.
Yeah.
I was
You can buy that hat.
jacket. I don't know how well it would fit me specifically, but I'd try it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the jacket.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Again, this is another fantastic design from Mina,
Yo,
and
look at the one piece.
yeah, just so many good things going on here.
And you've given me a new favorite mirror as well for Ying here. I don't think there's anything better. Like
little
you're
Paul.
happy, you're keeping everyone alive. That's kind of what your team's face
It's
should
just
look
happy
like.
to see
is
you.
this dog.
Gotta get the,
And I can't help but notice it might resemble some of the colors of, say, a corgi, maybe of some.
Yeah, we have a few people.
Oh, that reload.
High-Res's Chris.
Yeah, maybe. He's a fan of corgis, so we knew we had to get one in there.
I really like that reload.
And it matches the one that she has on her belt.
Yeah, again, like the others, and matches there. Skye's the only one where the dog on the weapon is a little different than one on her waist.
And he's got little bones. The thing I love looking at these skins as long as we do is like I start to notice all the smaller details. I'm like, okay, cool, there's a dog. Oh, he's got little bones next to him.
Yeah.
He's a happy little doggo.
The patches on her jacket are really cool too. I don't know if we have the 3P to see them, but
Yeah,
they're incredible.
a bunch of fun little kind of shape
Yeah.
graphics on them. It's really fantastic work. Justin handled the character beautifully here. She came out fantastic. She was actually our first skin we kind of locked the design in on and really informed the rest of the lineup.
And her usual like scroll that she keeps on the back look like speakers that she has
Yeah.
going here. So she's got some music
little
pumping.
Bluetooth speakers. Go jam wherever you want.
Stay
So being able to come through, there's the illusion. As you can imagine, looking a lot like the normal skin. And there's going to be their detonation. I like the noise on that one. Not like
clean.
as brittle, I guess, as
Yeah.
shattering.
It feels more modern and kind of refined rather than something a little more rough and raw.
Hail to my agent.
Chicken. Making his way everywhere. Not immediately available on the weapon this time around, but you still get to
Oh,
see
it's
it
the camera flash on the Switch. That's
Oh, that's great.
beautiful. Noah or Thomas. Good job.
That's so great.
Audio killed it with these skins.
Audio
These
did,
are
yeah.
incredible.
I'm
That's
just
sick.
I'm trying to
So
think of
good.
other words to say, but I'm just kind of enamored by this game.
Yeah.
Well
it's-
done,
yeah.
guys.
I was so excited when we finally started teasing the patch note show last night and got all over Twitter like, just wait, guys, just wait.
Kev, dude, 1 2.
The illusory riff, once it goes off cooldown.
Time to take the stage.
You just punched the corgi in the face.
Technically, we
Oh,
take
does
the
it
corgi
disappear?
out.
Okay,
She's
okay.
not hitting
We
the
would
corgi.
never.
We would
yeah.
never.
How dare I
I
suggest such
had
a thing?
so many people on the team coming to me so concerned she was going to punch a corgi.
Well, actually, what she's doing, I mean, because of the way Ying works, I guess she's sending the corgis love to everybody. That's what's causing the healing.
Oh, pose.
Doggos for everyone.
That's
Hit
perfect.
it, hit it, walk
There we
it,
go.
walk it, work
Swag.
it, work it, slay.
So she had the denim line in her voice back that we got to hear in the turnaround.
The
Also wearing
genius.
the denim skirts.
Denim skirt.
She's bringing it back.
She's bringing it back. Whoever invented denim, I can't remember the exact line, so I'm not going to try.
Was a
The only place
genius.
Was a
Yeah.
genius.
Actually, I think we're getting old
that,
there. 'cause
okay,
denim
that just
apparently
clicked.
is
That all
back.
came together. That makes way more sense. That's perfect. I love it.
Ah, dude, I
That
can't.
camera flash
Dude.
is perfect.
It's so great. Yeah, she beautiful skin. This will definitely be my main when I play Ying from now on.
I can't think of
absolutely.
anyone better for pictures to be taken. Like, she's just going to drop the illusion. Like, they're just
Yeah.
going to stand there. You have the perfect model in front of
Yeah,
you.
it's done. It's done.
But that's
Stab
going to
on
be the
everyone.
Ying. And again, this was a buy three, get one.
Yep.
So if you get
Mm-hmm.
the other street style skins, you will then unlock the street style Ying
Yeah.
as well. And then you
Absolutely.
can go bring style to the realm.
All
that
the
is-
style.
Not the only skin that is going to be coming through. We have a couple of others, not
Yeah.
in the street
Oh.
style theme.
Not in the street
But this
style.
one is going to be a big DLC, and it's for the guy who just happened to come out 1 week ago, and that is Atlas. He's getting a
It's your
Legionnaire
boy.
skin. So this
Yeah.
is one that the first thing I see is that it says lore-wise is pretty cool. So what's
Yeah.
the mentality behind this skin?
So with the Legionnaire Atlas, we kind of wanted to ask the question of what if. You get to see Atlas in the bad version of the future where things go to pot and he has to come back. And,
Yeah.
you know, he looks awesome, but he's not what I'd call terribly refined. So we really wanted to kind of pose the question of, well, what would he look like in terms of an armored up version of Atlas if
Yeah.
things went well and, you know, things didn't go bad enough they had to jump back in time.
We have the splash art to look at this one,
Mm.
and I'm actually really excited because, again, more armored. That
Look
looks
at this guy,
sick.
dude.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. And as a
just-
side note, we have switched our splash art style back to the more rendered approach here.
Yeah.
The stylized approach was really fun, but we felt ultimately more fans were kind of clamoring for something that felt a little bit more detail rich, and this obviously reflects that.
Dude,
And it was fun to paint.
that's
Well, it looks really good in the
That's
splash
amazing.
art. Now let's see how good he looks in the turnaround, and here's some of his voice lines as well.
Your place is beneath my boot. The Legion will consume you and your people. Our empire grows even larger. Do not weep for the slain, for they have found glory. My life for the Legion. Rejoice, vermin, for you now belong to the greatest of empires.
I believe
right.
the mount we have is the Legionnaire mount as well, right? Him on that mount, and on any
Oh,
mount
yeah.
really, is
Yeah.
just going to look so incredible.
It's going to be so
And this
awesome.
weapon
Yep.
still looks sick.
Pristine killing machine.
The VFX on the circular bit. I really charge shot.
Yeah, his 1P gun is so fun to
Oh,
skin.
come on, man. This is so cool. The armor too,
those bullets
it's like this
back.
pearlescent material that like
Yeah.
has some really great lighting react. Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
It's
I
like
know it's
marble but steel. But
I
detailed.
want to say maybe
rich.
a more like common theme for like armor, like prestigious armor, I guess, is to have kind of
Yeah.
like the silver and gold. But like, I really like the tones that come through with this. Like, you've been able to kind of match a black and gold, silver gold,
Yeah.
and bring them all together to make this skin look like he is a very high-ranking officer, but he will also beat you down if he
Oh
needs
yeah,
to.
yeah. Well, in this future, the realm kind of ascends to its power unimpeded, and you know he's
that
really
sounds
kind of ahead of all that. So you gotta look good. You gotta look good.
Gotta look good, feel good doing it.
Yeah. And again, we had J-Mac on the 3D art here. Just really crushed the character out. Just awesome stuff. I mean, who doesn't want to play as a big armored powerhouse like Atlas?
And especially with a giant horse on your head. I mean, that's like, it stands out. And I feel like it makes Atlas maybe slight bit taller from where his head you would think would be. But
Yep.
again, looking menacing, being able to find those shots. We saw the wall looks pretty similar to the regular walls you imagine. A nice big emblem on the middle.
Yep. I noticed the VFX on the ult mesh.
nice touch. Yeah,
So great.
that. Dude,
I
he looks
am-
like a marble sculpture from
Oh, that still looks amazing. Poor Evie. I feel like, especially once like he comes online, I mean, he's been out for about a week now, but once players get really, really good at those charge shots, I think everyone is going to start feeling the brunt of the damage that he can truly bring.
Yeah, it gets scary.
And now you get to look really, really good and pretty menacing while you're doing it. But that is going to be coming through, and I believe that's a DLC that you can pick up for when this next update comes through. And finally, someone else who's getting a skin. I can't remember the last time that Drogoz got a skin, but he is on the list. It's the Pyre Warrior Drogoz, and this one is kind of a special skin. Molly, do you want to talk to us about why?
Yes, this one's actually going to be available through Twitch Prime, so it will be free if you have Twitch Prime beginning in late April.
Yep.
Nailed it. Glad I have Twitch Prime because I'm going to get this amazing looking skin. Not much of a dragon here, I think is the best way to say. So
this skin's definitely more in line with one of our Echo champs. This is more of answering the question, what does a Pyre Warrior look like? Someone who's like a true embodiment of the Pyre. And obviously we have the Abyssal Lord in the background, not a coincidence.
Menacingly looking over. So I guess if there's two paths Drogoz can take. One is down into the abyss, and the other one is to ascend to becoming a Pyre Warrior. Unfortunately, he seems a little outnumbered. We'll see how he can handle that.
He's fine. He's got Fusillade. He's gonna be like one tap.
He's got it.
We have the turnaround ready, so we get to not only see what a Pyre Warrior looks like, but hear what he looks like. Sounds like.
You have been judged unworthy. The Pyre is only reachable by the supreme deities and those they deem worthy. I have guarded the gates for countless years, and for countless years they have gone unbreached. Through the Pyre and Flames is my favorite. Birdbrain is a compliment, not an insult. Be on your best behavior. The Pyre is watching.
That's right.
So
look at this gun.
There's so many things, and the gun looks so awesome, and there's the scroll on the side as well.
The detailing is
The gun actually fires as pure raw Pyre magic. There's not an actual physical object being loaded. It's just pure magic. Fire and flame.
Yep.
Pyre and flame.
Pyre and flame.
Pyre and
through the
flame.
Pyre and the flame.
Oh, that's so great.
I mean, I'm always been. This is a really weird way to compare it, but I love like Egyptian hieroglyphics and things like when they have that on a scroll, and seeing like the symbols that you have on the scroll on the side of the weapon is probably like my favorite detail that I immediately see.
What about the detail of that's actually Furia's book?
On the back?
Yep.
On the
back.
booty? Yep.
That is the Pyre book featured in the Furia campaign from way back.
So
we really
Furia
wanted
upset with him for taking this book?
No, he's like the
No.
guardian.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I
a guardian
guess
of the book.
she's gonna have to be nice to him.
He would be the
Furia
one who was
and-
entrusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Furia and this guy would be, best buds.
Ooh,
That's cool.
that glowy ball. I'm like the lower base brainstem human functionality of like moth status. I just like look at that glowy ball and I'm like, 1, 2,
I need to touch this and
Yeah.
do whatever I can. Maybe that's going to be one of the benefits of having this.
Oh, that's
Might be.
cool.
Is
Yeah.
attract people to the fireball to make them come in, the dragon
cool.
spit. And as long as they stand there.
So amazing.
Oh, come on, man. That's sick.
Are there runes in the effects, like
Yes.
the ones that are written on the scroll?
Yeah, Rollin in the VFX team again, just crushing it as usual. Dude, the VFX really just add that kind of layer of quality to the skin that's just amazing. Makes it feel more kind of holy and really representative of the Pyre lore.
I like
Twitch
how
Prime is like basically free, right?
pretty much. I mean, if you
it's
have,
free.
I think
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime,
You
right?
can sign up for a free trial.
Yeah.
You guys.
If you don't
You
get
guys.
this,
That
I
was
don't know what
Garrett
to tell
thinking,
you.
man, I just went on all like during the hunt about our business model, and now we're giving this out.
You could just have this. You could just have this.
There's gonna be the Dragon Punch,
Oh
dabbing
my
chickens.
goodness.
Maybe not quite fitting the Pyre Warrior theme, but still. just as good. I actually think one of my favorite things again is the salvo. As you
Yeah.
load it up, normally you see like I guess more energy in a regular Drogoz rocket launcher, but for this the Pyre energy seems to be like kind of leaking from the gun
Yeah.
at the beginning.
It's just emanating from raw
Nice,
power.
man. That's sick.
And I believe Kevin said that he does have Propel probably 5 in his loadout, which can actually tie back to some of the balance changes we were talking about earlier with the momentum.
Yeah, see that
based on
steam? See that speed after
in fact, only
he
Propel
starts to
5.
boost, right? Like that's kind of just a preview
So-
of the
so fun.
change. So you can like hit that and then like start turning.
That's distance.
Yeah.
Ah.
Hopefully that'll be an improvement for y'all as Drogoz players. And if you're rocking this free skin, what are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking? That's amazing. That weapon is sick. Like the curves and the filigree. I'm a big fan of them.
Abyssal Lord Drogoz, as well as I guess Saris just in general, are going to have to be a little worried now that he's going to be jumping into the realm. A lot more threats coming down than I think they would have. Like, Furia was one thing.
Yeah.
Now you're having, I guess,
she's got a crew now.
Drogoz coming
an
She's got a
actual
squad.
Pyre Warrior coming for them.
Pyre Squad.
Pyre Squad?
Yep.
That could
Pyre
be,
Squad.
just saying, Battle Pass Pyre Squad.
Yep.
And
Hashtag.
like they do like some really cool pose. I don't know. Either way, we can come through with that.
Skye,
It's
you
going to be
gotta
really
convince.
good. Maybe I guess I'm selling it to the wrong person. Pyre Squad.
I like it. I like it.
But we get to come through and we have a couple of community things to talk about, specifically the skin contest.
Yeah, so the community skin contest bracket round voting number 2 is underway. We've got some brackets to show you right now. How we've broken this up is this year you are actually not just getting one community skin. You guys are voting on 4 separate community skins. So there's one bracket for damage, frontline, support, and flank. All of the champions in those brackets will battle it out, and then we'll see who the fan artists get to create skins for.
And I believe we have the damage bracket right here. So right now, Kinessa, Leon, Shaolin, and Drogoz are the 2, I guess, going to the next level.
The voting is open right now between these 2 different matchups. So Drogoz and Leon and Kinessa, Drogoz and Shaolin and Kinessa and Leon. Voting closes at 6 p.m. today, so make sure you head on over to paladins.com. Get your vote in for your favorite champ.
Well, we also have the front line. We have all 4 of the brackets ready for you. So front line is going to be the next one that you can look up. Ashe versus Barrack and Terminus versus Ruckus.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've heard a lot of people talking about a Barrack skin. Well, we did have a tease, I think, last Friday talking about a Barrack skin. So not that I'm going to push you in any way. But I guess Ashe is also getting a new skin, so there's really not a heavy favor for that one. This is the support. Maldamba versus Genos. Grover versus Pip. Actually surprised personally that Ying didn't move forward in her own bracket. That's actually really surprising.
Yeah.
Tree is strong.
But it is up to the community.
Genos and Pip got a bye? That's not even fair.
We did the buys by play rate, actually.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
And then here we have Talus versus Androxus. Koga versus Zen.
A little bit of a lore matchup.
I was going to say that was
relevant.
Awesome. It's fate.
The grudge match, dude.
So we had some
Rivals.
really, really close rounds in round 1 of the bracket voting. I think Inara lost to Ruckus by something like 300 votes out of 27,000.
Come on, guys, vote.
That we had.
No,
so
get my Inara out there.
head on over
more
to
Inara
paladins.com and cast your vote. Also, our survey goes live today.
Nice.
So our Futures End survey, you will see it in-game in a panel. You'll be prompted to take it. It's pretty in-depth, but all of that information is super helpful to us.
Yeah, we love hearing what you guys have to
Please
say
fill that
about our
out.
game.
Stuff about
fill
maps,
it out.
champions.
We review every comment.
Yeah. And again, potentially, depending on how many come in, has, I guess, ability to change some things in the future. You might see
100%.
some notes that
100%.
if you take this survey will apply.
I mean,
in
you saw it
future
today,
updates.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Based on community feedback, a couple of these changes for balance were implemented, and also features.
Well, I know
Yeah.
I have a couple of things I need to go through for the
We're
esports
just
side of
gonna
things.
disregard Gore's submissions like that
yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah, no, mine are usually bad where it's like, hey, just let me be Inara. Let me be Bomb King and like just not die. But we have some esports things that are coming up tomorrow. We actually moved Esports Weekly. Normally it'd be going on like about now, maybe starting about I think 10, 12 minutes ago. But we've moved that to tomorrow, where we're going to be going through again the console league, the minor league, the Premier League, and having an interview with a player. I believe we have Hades from Kanga coming through, the coach for Kanga coming in to be able to talk with him. And that is going to roll straight into the PPL tomorrow, where the Knights are going to be going up. The Pittsburgh Knights are going up against Nodus Vincier, and they have a doubleheader this week because on Friday they're going up against Kanga, which is why it's going to be awesome to talk to Hades. And then of course next Monday at 11, the console league. Next Tuesday at 11, the minor league, and the PPL will be starting at 1 p.m. Thursday and Friday this week. So keep your eyes open for that. Always stay tuned to this channel. That's going to be all of the esports things. I think that's all the community things. Keep your eyes out for the test server, the PTS.
Yep, PTS server will be up later this
Friday-ish?
week. Yeah, we're hoping. We definitely always want to try to get it up before the weekend.
As soon as you can, but whenever it happens, it happens. But that's going to be it. Again, the Omega skins are live right now, so if you want to be able to go and get those, they are in the game, and I believe we actually have some of the turnarounds from them left to leave on. So I'll say now, thank you for watching, thank you for being here. But we have all of these Omega skins, you can go get them if you want them. And, I mean, I've been Gormizer. That's Molly, Thunderbrush, Garrett. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the update. We'll see you next time.